They are motion detected, so when a car drives by, it snaps a picture of the back of your car to include the license plate, but it is not reading your license plate. There's nothing in real time being notified to a police officer or anything like that. So it is a tool for our officers to use, but they still have to investigate going backwards. So like if a crime was committed and they need to go back and look at the cameras to see, hey, who's coming in and out, like the license plate readers are not giving them alerts. They still have to go back and run the plate in a different system that is completely separate from the cameras. Yes.
First of all, I don't really care. I did access a flock camera map of the entire United States, and it shows 3 flock cameras here in Princess Lake.
Yes.
So that might be some of the confusion.
Well, I will be honest with you, and I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say this. I've said this multiple times that our cameras are not like flock. They don't have the same capabilities.
Right.
I don't think people care to listen to what I'm saying and understand. So we can't do anything about whatever map that is, because I've seen it too. They're not flock cameras.
Yeah.
Again, they are called license plate readers, but they are not reading your license plate. There's nothing happening in real time.
It's basically a security
It's taking
camera.
a picture of the vehicle and the
Period.
visual plate. So
Right.
Yes,
Yep.
it is reading the plate, but it is not breaking it down and running the driver, the owner, and doing all that. And the other thing is, no one, no company, no law enforcement agencies have the ability to get in our system. Our information is stored 30 days, and then it's taken.
So people can watch this. Yeah. Also, I got on Nextdoor and put it out there that, what you guys just said. And I hate to be so blunt, but people's got it in their head that it's a flock camera. I don't give a damn what I say, they're gonna believe it's a flock
Well,
camera.
and that's why I say people don't care to understand or listen. So, I mean, but this is why I wanted to do this in a public meeting, so we can just get it out on the table. Obviously, people are probably gonna still have questions and stuff like that, and that's fine. But I thought, it's such a hot topic right now, I thought it would just be better just to talk about it in a meeting, and kind of dispel the,
Well, and I think it's important for you as a council to make a decision, not leaving it to Greg. You can certainly be guided by Greg and do what Greg recommends, or consult with him, listen to his input. But I think, given the controversy that surrounds these license plate readers, I think the council ought to take a position on whether you're going to have these cameras operating in Princess Lakes, and whether you want to impose any conditions or restrictions, limitations on those or not, so that Lindsay, any one of you individually, or Greg can say, this has been discussed, the council has considered it, asked questions, and ultimately made the decision that we either are or aren't going to have this system, so that all of you have some cover.
bless you.
I knew it was coming. And that the town, as a public agency, takes a position on this.
I mean, my view is, and I hate to be so blunt again, but if we had something serious happen and they call the police and say, this type of car just did this and it's really serious, we need to stop. And they can find it on the camera and maybe find out who did it and where they went. If we didn't have these cameras, the same people that's complaining about it's going to say, well, why don't you have cameras up so we can find this stuff out? So it's either damned if you do or damned if you don't. And if they don't like it, I'm sorry, it's too bad.
Personally, I don't see it any difference in our cameras, what we have down there at our entrances. Any different than what we have at our clubhouse that's stored, or down at the park. All it is it's camera footage recorded on a hard drive for up to 30 days. There's no information being shared whatsoever. It's a resource for us to go back to. If something happens, what happened? Let's go back to the day and take a look.
That's all it is. Just to let you guys know, that our IT guy, Scott, he's following state law. I didn't bring my file in, but there's a state law that, is set for these type of things, where municipalities store information. It could be camera video, it could be,
Documents, anything.
documents,
Yeah.
anything. This law dictates on how long these items need to be stored. And Scott does that well, and I never heard of this, and he guided me on this.
That's good. I guess though, for purposes of whether they're going to be used in Princess Lakes, the Access to Public Records Act tells us about storage and document retention, all that kind of stuff. But I think what ought to drive this decision is whether they're providing any benefit. And you all can maybe decide that on your own, but I think, Greg, I would turn to you to say, is this useful? Does it assist you in your offices in doing what you do? Does it help you to keep the community orderly and safe? Will it be a valuable resource in trying to identify bad actors and ultimately arresting and prosecuting them if the need arises? Is it a tool that you think provides benefit to the town or not?
Yes, it does. Extremely. It has cut our crime down. I don't know the percentage, but I will say this, between 35 and 55%, if not higher. It's cut down our drug activity. Our drug problems are almost gone. So when we publicized this back in 2021, from that point on, we started to see the decreases.
People just gonna get used to it and get over it. That's my opinion.
Go ahead, Jack.
Well, it just seems like, these cameras are good for all of us. I mean, but the problem seems to be not whether or not we need them. The problem seems to be what the community's idea of those cameras might be. And because they show up on flock system maps, you're not going to tell everybody that they're not flock cameras. So it seems like a good way to go would be communication with the town. I mean, whether it's through, the Facebook website or the town's website or something, somehow or another, you gotta get the word out there that they're not really flying.
I mean, I have had conversations with a lot of people online, and I have.
You have.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, I can't control who sees my stuff, or even for like the town Facebook page, we can't control who sees it. There's an algorithm and whatever. But I mean, I have stated many times that they are not Flock brand, and they don't operate like Flock either.
Is there a way to communicate this?
Sure. I mean, we could put something out, but
We're working on that.
There's not one single person here in this audience to discuss this or offer any opposition to it.
yeah.
I was going to bring that up.
I see this in other towns too. I'll get warnings from council members or utility superintendents or town marshals or something. There's going to be 100 people here tonight, and they're all angry, and they're not damn one of them shows up, and that's happened tonight.
Yeah.
And it sounds to me like I mean I defer to the town marshal. Town marshal says it's something that's useful, that's helping him do his job and serve the community. Well, okay then. I don't know what more. To me, for me, I would need to hear. But I also think that a handful of people on social media can seem like a great many people.
Yeah.
If you have 5 people who are posting all the time, they look like 200 people. And they're 5 people. And I think we need to sometimes try to push through the smoke and try to ascertain whether we really do have a large contingent in the community who has a strong opposition to something we're doing, or whether they're just a bunch of people talking a lot. I liken it to back in the day before we had social media.
Yeah.
That crazy old man who stood on his front porch and yelled at everybody who walked by his house. And he'd yell, and everybody know he was there, and they would try to not pass the street, and he'd stop people, and he'd talk to them. And you think that there is a big uprising in the community against something, and after a while, people just realize he's just that crazy old man yelling off his porch. And they walk by, they don't pay attention to him anymore. And those people are on social media now. And instead of yelling off the porch, they yell it out on the internet. And we have to sort out. And so I walked in here tonight after talking with Lindsay, expecting this room to be full with people wanting to talk about these cameras. And it's not 6 people, it's nobody.
And the other side of the coin might be that there might be a majority of people out there that would be disappointed finding out that they're not.
And those people
Yeah.
aren't speaking.
Right.
We hear from people who are angry or opposed. We rarely hear from people who want to come to a meeting and say, oh, just want to stop by and tell you you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
I mean, I have seen people for them, and defend them. But I mean, neither side's here tonight, so.
So just a quick thought, I mean, I think Lee's going down a really logical path here. First of all, push through the smoke, because the only thing that social media ever seems to be really good at is stirring up controversy. And if the council was to formally take a position on their cameras here in Princess Lakes, what will and will not be used, how they will and will not be used, how long the data is retained, so that this becomes something that is documented, that can help put some of the rumors to rest, or if nothing else, you all can fall back and say, maybe you should consult, the decision of the town council. Yeah, we've got cameras, yeah, they're good for Greg, all they do is take a picture, we have to go back and look at anything if we wanna look at it, and we only have it for 30 days and then it disappears.
Yeah, that sounds good, but personally, I think even if we had something like that, people will look at it and say, that's just BS coming from the government, from
Yeah,
the council,
Oh, I
and
get
they're
that.
not gonna believe it anyway.
Yeah.
So I say,
That's why you push through.
I can't say what I want to say.
Do you ever push through it?
yeah,
Sure.
I think, I'm gonna speak up because Lee's right. We need to set some kind of standard that these cameras operate by and the police department can follow. That way, the public, the town residents can see this and know that we are following this protocol that you guys have voted on and set.
Yeah.
So what do you think it ought to say?
well, so I asked Lee to look at other towns and cities to see what their rules
Yeah.
or whatever are, and he's,
I think it's important that you take a position. I know I said that. But I'd like to listen to Greg and have this explained. I don't know that we need to make this more difficult than it is. One way I think to deal with this tonight is to note on the record that our town marshal has explained to the council that these cameras are license plate reading cameras. They are not flock cameras. They do not collect any data that is shared with any other agency, private company, or individual. It is proprietary information belonging only to the town of Princess Lakes, that it is stored for a 30-day period of time and then is no longer retained. And I think it would be fine for the council to make a motion, a second, and a vote to authorize the town marshal to continue using the cameras in the manner he has described and to not deviate from his current practices without approval from the council going forward,
I make that motion.
and leave it at that. I think that gets done for us what we need.
yeah. Go ahead, sir.
I have a quick concern. INPD's had an issue in the last week or two where an officer was accessing thousands of records.
Right.
Greg, nothing personal here.
No, but he's being terminated.
He's been terminated. I think there should be a stipulation that only the police department can do it, and there has to be an audit record or a record valve access, so that when it brings officer, when that does get available to officer, it's not abused, just for their own protection. Not that I'm saying any officer is going to do that, Well, Gray's gonna do that, but nobody on this council should have access to them, because you can have personal issues looking somebody up, girlfriend, husband, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm
I don't have
trying to
access.
expect Greg and his officers here too.
I think though, when you, I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I do disagree because our cameras are not doing the same thing as what a flock does. So
And
it's
still records are being saved and can be accessed. by
correct, but
police.
there's no personal information. There's no, it's not like the person.
You know,
it's a-
what's from the going, if you want to track your husband, you can track your husband. And that shouldn't be allowed to a system like that, that's what I'm saying. It's liability by the town. Lee, correct me if I'm wrong, the town could have liability for your husband or somebody else. Your neighbor, you were accessing your.
Yeah, if you want to track somebody else, you can buy a magnetic GPS and flip on
Fair
the
enough,
vehicle.
that's not the town system.
That's right.
I mean, it's no different. I mean, you could stand on the side of the road and see them coming and going.
That's not the town system.
But the town system's doing the same exact thing.
I know, but that's not the town system. The town paying for it.
No,
You're not thinking about liability.
I think the point is, it is to be used only for law enforcement, and that,
Exactly.
which I think
But
is
that's
what
exactly
Greg
what's
has made
happening
clear.
right now.
But you need to put a rule in place that nobody can access it. You guys can't ask him and put him in a situation for him to have to provide those records.
Oh, he wouldn't
We
do it.
can't do that
Okay,
anyways.
you have to make a policy that he doesn't.
He wouldn't do it.
I believe that's a state law too, isn't it?
As long as it's state law, there's a policy.
I can't get in your.
I mean, I just can't come to you and say, hey, there's a license
No.
plate number, run it for me.
As long as there's a policy about it.
No.
They-
I agree with him, but I don't think it has to be a book. Just a few set of rules that the police department has to follow.
But you're telling us that's what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, nobody knows how to do it except for our IT person, and right now is the way things, if you guys don't know, we got hit by lightning from his beautiful water tower, so we've lost. I'm gone. But we're just trying to keep it, I'm trying to keep it simple, so only so many people have the ability to do that. And now that all this turmoil has come upon us, it's better that we do it.
That's fine. I don't really have a problem with setting rules. That's not, I don't.
And then it's up to you guys as a board. I'm just trying to listen to the residents. I just get tired of the Facebook.
My suggestion is you would dispose of the motion you have on the table. And then if you want to have written policies to adopt, for at your next meeting, we'll write a written policy. Or Greg can do an SOP on the
Yeah.
use of, the information collected by these cameras. And it would be a department rule like every other SOP has. Or-
I revoke my
I would
motion.
prefer you work with Greg until you work with Dan, write up a
Yeah.
policy and we'll approve it next meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what they do and I know we're secure.
Right.
But we'll put it in writing.
I like the idea of the SOP because that makes every officer responsible.
Right. I revoke my motion, now you have to revoke yourself.
Sean, I wanted to address what you said, and it is documented in the minutes. So what our minutes are from last month, I did put in there, Marshall Southers wanted to make it clear that the current cameras are investigative tools designed to record data and make it available for later review. They are not proactive and do not provide automatic notifications. The current cameras are not flock cameras. So it is documented, it is in the minutes for people to go back later and review. Just,
Well, that wasn't,
Yeah.
that wasn't, yeah.
yeah, didn't you say that to
It might
have
have
it
been Jeff.
documented?
I think it might have been Jeff.
Either way, it's
Yeah.
in the minutes and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so, then I make a motion that we continue to allow Greg, to use the cameras as he has been, and that we will create a set of SOPs. Greg can work with Lee and get that done.
Second.
All right, votes.
Yes.
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 Yes,
Yes.
all right.
Anybody else have anything? Kevin, Charlie?
Huh?
Anybody?
Oh.
I did want to real quick before we move on, the tornado siren to Table Rock. They suggested that I reach out to dispatch to see if maybe there's a disconnect in the radio frequency between when they set it off and then the actual tornado siren sound. Dispatch does not think that there's anything wrong with the frequency, and that Nineveh and, Job Corps tornado sirens are working fine. They haven't had any complaints. So, did I say Tornado Rock? I meant to say Table Rock.
Table Rock.
Oh, okay. I keep either saying Tornado Rock or Table Rock. Table Rock is coming Friday, and they should be here when it is supposed to go off, so that they can try to figure out
Right.
what the problem is, why it's not. The first, 2 or 3 Fridays, it went off fine, and then now it's not at all. So I don't know.
It did go off this past Friday.
Well, I think that was Nineveh's. I don't think it was ours.
Yeah, we could hear that one around here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you contact them, about purchasing our old unit?
They said that they would
Refurbish it, yeah.
They also said that they would train somebody, one of our people, to do the check every 6 months.
For maintenance.
Yes, maintenance. That's what I was trying to think of. So there's that too. But, they said that they would refurbish it if we wanted to.
Did they say how much
Would
it
they-
was gonna cost to refurbish?
Well, that's why I'm asking if it'd be better off just to sell them the unit, let them refurbish it and resell it versus us paying for refurbishment.
Well, no, they didn't say anything about us selling it to them. They were talking about refurbishing it
Right.
and then us buying it and putting up the second.
Yeah.
But they did not, but I also didn't ask if they would wanna buy it back. So,
I mean, that would pay for the BAM subscription, not prescription.
oh, yes, that's right. I need to, which is another topic of discussion, is the, weather alerts.
Hmm.
Does anybody have an opinion on it? You weren't at the last meeting.
No, I mean, we talked about it, but, I don't know, I mean, to me, everybody's got weather alerts on their phone.
Right, so,
We just put in the tornado.
mhm.
No.
It's $4.50 per household.
Per household.
Um,
Oh, so they have to pay for it. They want it.
Well, it is my opinion that we should not pass the cost on to the residents. So they have worked with other towns. If I were you, I would go and watch last month's video because he says it all in length, and I'm probably gonna forget something that he said, but they are very specific alerts. So when if there's a tornado in northern Johnson County, we're getting the tornado siren here, and it can cause panic when there's nothing. Wrong.
His big thing too is just that they're a little quicker, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
His response, they get the information out a little quicker than the news stations and
So,
stuff like that.
Scott,
That was one
I'm
of
gonna
the
use, you're pretty good with customer base. How many customers we have?
1,800 total.
right?
That's not.
800 in
what's
town.
Princess Lake.
Let's talk about households that we serve,
800.
800. So you're looking at what?
3,200.
It's almost $5, isn't it? $4?
$4.50.
So yeah, you're looking 32,
So it would
After that.
be, it would be
36,
yearly.
3,700
Mhm. So it would be.
a month, or is that yearly?
It's yearly. It would be yearly, and, he did say that, so one of my concerns was is that we have, a lot of older people that live here and are not tech savvy, stuff like that. And so my concern is that if we buy 800, I'll call them QR codes, cause I don't know what else you would call them. It's what they would use to sign up. If we buy 800 of them and only 500 people sign up, then we've wasted, 300 of them. So he said that we could start off with a smaller number, buy a smaller number of QR codes, And then if we needed more, we could go from there.
Well, see, that's what I'm wondering, just like with our auto billing, how many we got signed up now out of 800?
We sent
It's
out
like
800.
35% of 1,800.
So, yeah, I mean, if you
35%
buy-
of
you don't
18.
wanna buy a lot of 800 when you only got, we can't even get people signed on for the billing.
Right, and that was one of my concerns. And so he said that we didn't have to buy all 800 at once, that we could buy a smaller amount, and then if more people needed it, that we could go from there. But it wasn't even just, for, his presentation wasn't even just for residents. He talked a lot with Scott too about, which he emailed me and he wants to make sure I give you,
Send me his info,
Yes.
yeah, please.
that there was stuff with the utilities that the utilities could benefit from. And he also emailed me after and said that he would give the council members, like, I don't remember how long it was, but a free trial period so that we could see, you know, what it is that this app truly provides, and if we think that it's worth it to offer it to our residents. Again, we could pass off the cost of it to residents, but it is, in my opinion, that we don't. I think what better use of taxpayer dollars than to provide this service to our residents for $4.50 a household.
So if we've only got 35% of the people that are signed up for online
Yeah.
billing,
Any of your other communities do that, pay for
I've heard this still, the last thing, I just.
Yeah, so they,
It's a new role.
yeah,
That's surrounded by meteorologists where I work. And they all, when I ask them what should we be looking at when tornadoes might be rolling our way, they
Right.
say, get on YouTube, watch BAM.
it. Right.
There are a couple reasons. One of them is BAM is hyper-local, and they're based out of Greenwood, Indiana. So this is a national thing that's based out of Greenwood, Indiana. You know their backyard is more important probably than some of the other spots,
Right.
right? And that's what Lindsay had said at the last meeting was, you know, maybe you buy 500 subscriptions instead of 800. You know, so you're looking at, say, $2,500, right? So it's not a real expensive thing to consider. The thing I would ask, and this probably kind of goes really to you, Erica, would be, is there a scenario where a citizen can provide some funds towards that to help offset that? I know on the Conservancy, we have a special fund that's just for that. If you want to throw a little extra money because we're going to go do this thing, cool, do that. Because I would be happy to contribute more than my $5 for my household for the community to have access to something like that.
Scott, what's the benefits to the utility?
What we do, that's different than what the residents would
It'd be a
get.
different-
yeah.
Okay, but
But
what is?
what he brought up to us was, and that would be separate. That wouldn't, I mean, it would be a separate deal.
Right.
Like where we've had lightning damage issues, like the lightning damage at the generator.
They got a record of it.
Yeah, just information like that is where utilities can benefit from. He named 4 or 5 things like that, but that was one of the things that stuck out to me.
Yeah, I think you should go back and watch the
Yeah.
video from last.
We do that with my company. We got lightning records of where they hit. But
Mhm.
we got that with my company.
I was gonna say,
records.
I bet you guys do, yeah.
He brought it in to Scott about road conditions, temperature drops, serious temperature
Yeah.
drops,
Yeah.
snow, moist. I mean, it was a field that I didn't even understand. But,
And that's like live all the time. You
oh
go find
yeah,
it.
if you have it, it's yeah.
Yeah.
One of my officers, Jordan Anderson,
Yeah.
he
He
pays
pays
a lot of money every
Yeah.
year to do it, and he
And it's not-
believes by it.
the notifications are not just for tornadoes. It is all weather alerts.
Yeah.
Rain, sleet, you know, everything. It covers all weather alerts.
Brian, what he mentioned to me was like, we could be on the same thing and get the same notifications, but if we wanted to get like the Gold Star program they have for the utilities, it would cost considerably more, like $4,000 or $5,000 a year more.
so 35% of the 800 is 280. Okay. If we're looking, why don't we just, why don't
35% of what?
800
800. What's 800? Oh, 800 customers.
Customers
Yes.
in town.
Okay.
and here in town? why don't we put some feelers out on our town website and see if we can get some people to sign up?
I have already asked. I've already made a vote. I mean, they are very interested.
Well, I know, but we need some numbers that we can tally.
35% sign up, that'd be $12.60 a year.
Okay, what is
And
that?
the
Name of that
35% is basically what they've got signed up for the
For
billing.
the auto pay, like
Auto
our
pay.
customers that do.
Yes.
And we've been running that for a while to get there, so.
I would say that would probably be a good, safe number to start with and kind of grow it
If we
from
wanna
there.
pay for it, do we wanna
If we,
try it
if
first?
we want to pay for it.
I mean, he said that he would give the council a free trial. I don't remember how long it was. It was either a week or a month. So that we could get to experience it firsthand and see if it's,
I mean,
Well, he let you
I
know.
agree with Brian too. We do get
I didn't-
notifications on our
we
phones
didn't-
a
That didn't
lot.
really come up with us.
Let's see if
yeah.
they can try.
Here's the other thing too, though. So we could, ask, Table Rock if they wanna bite back and put that money towards it. I mean, we could go out and look and ask for some type of grant to see if, like, you know, I don't think the health department's gonna give us any more money, but the health department had those funds set aside for stuff like tornado sirens. So, I mean, we could go out and look for things to cover the cost of the alerts. I don't know if we can get it or not,
Does
but
like emergency management, do those guys do any kind of hell? I didn't think so.
Funding.
They have gone south
yeah, when all
compared
the
to what they
tornado
used.
siren stuff first started, that's where I started, and they said, we don't have anything to do with it, and I'm like, okay. All right then, who do I talk to?
That's
So-
too logical.
What?
That was too logical.
Right, so,
All
okay,
right, so where are we going? Try it?
He wants to
you
get
want
a-
to do the-
A sample to try it. I
If
mean,
you're
we can
talking
try
to him,
it.
Lindsay, I would ask if Scott can try it for what he might use it for, if he'll give it to us for a trial.
I mean, you
Does
got
it, does
a
it
way
support our
to
police
see.
department at all?
I'll
Probably
sign
weather-
up.
weather-
I'll sign up.
Yeah, I mean, he.
I will pay.
See if our departments can try it during our trial and
Okay,
Cause it'd be just as good for me and Scott as it would be
Tony.
Tony.
Yeah, we'd all probably benefit from it.
yeah. I do think you should watch the video from last month so that you can hear in full what everything he said.
The only, my concern, Brian, was anybody, so that was only in the zip code of what, Princess Lakes only, right?
So for the residents, it's
So-
address
I
specific.
figured I might have to put town hall's address in so I could log in. That's what-
Well,
I already thought that through.
Yeah, but if we buy so many subscriptions, then we would be able to
Probably.
give the subscriptions to you guys in each
Yeah, I
department
would, yeah.
versus buying an independent subscription that's going to cost $5,000 a year.
So would it be like address specific, you know?
He,
your
the way I
business
took it is
description,
that, like he
so
said,
people
you would
have-
turn in your address
So
and then they're gonna drop and see which area you're in. That's how you get notified.
Well, when you
For
we give you the
residents,
town
it
hall's
would be-
address.
Right, that's what I was thinking. I'll just put town hall's
Sure.
address and then,
Sound like a winner.
yeah, we're gonna have a lot of 14 East Lakeviews.
It's the up and coming.
Yeah.
It is the up and coming.
It's the new apartment building in Princess Lakes.
Yeah.
Anything
Hey, these are
else
55 and
about
older.
tornado sirens or the tornado alerts? I will get back with Paul and ask him if we can do the trial, and then we can go from there. If anybody, I mean, I can try to make calls and stuff like that, but if anybody else would like to help out, see if, you know, if there's any money that we can get for this to help out, then that would be great too. And I'll ask Table Rock if they wanna buy the old siren from us. Let me write this down.
I bet that'll be a no. Be my guess.
So we're saying about 2,000?
What was it, 35%?
35% was 280 homes. So, I mean, if you wanted to figure up, round up to 300,
Yes, but
Okay.
Yeah, and if we were to do this, I realize that there are people in our community that are not tech savvy. I would be willing to meet people up here so that I can help them get it on their phone. I don't have a problem doing that. So, you know, I know some people might not wanna do it because they don't know how, but I would be willing to come up and help. Yes.
Just a question.
Mhm.
So it's by household? Is that what
Yes.
you're saying?
Yes.
So what if there's 2 phones and?
Oh,
Everyone in the household.
yes. So
Yes.
you guys would just share login information.
Yeah.
So it's, the QR code is address specific, but anybody in the household can be on that account. You would just share your login information. Yeah.
Now, is that just weather emergency or is that other?
No,
If you get the business one, it blossoms for the information.
That's what I was wondering. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, but what we would be offering, what BAN has offered us to offer is
Community.
basic.
Right, okay.
It's
So-
basically, the way I got, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I took it as though like it's the same as what I get like from Channel 8 or somebody like that. It's a, you know, like a text saying, you know, it's
I know
that kind of
it is, but
information.
it's way more specific, and I think
Yeah,
that's why
exactly.
it's not just.
But I mean,
like
that's all you're gonna
watching,
get, Brian.
you know,
It's like a,
RTV6 or Wish TV8 or whatever.
yeah.
So okay,
The only thing I struggle with is Channel 8's done pretty good for me over the years, and I work outside every day.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it makes no difference to me. I mean, a tornado siren don't wake me up.
that's free. So,
okay. Anybody have anything else to say? Okay, so we'll move on to approval of the July 20th, 2026 meeting minutes. That's a motion. Sorry.
Oh, second, I'll second. I second.
Okay, Charlie seconded, votes,
Yes.
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 All right,
Greg?
Mr. Greg Sellers.
You guys have our monthly stats. It was a busy month. You have our mileage report. It's kind of idled down a little bit. School has started, so we are trying to stay on the buses and, you know, we made almost 39 traffic stops last month, so we're working on that right now, watching the traffic and trying to keep people slowed down, let them know that the kids are going to be out. Other than that, we're just trying to stay on the patrol. I will say, I want to say this, Eric is probably gonna tell you, but yes, the town hall took a lightning strike. We lost the computer, and that's, for right now, that's all we know. I know Erica has some issues, but she's gonna probably talk to you, Go.
Me from the wonderful water tower.
Yeah, that wonderful water tower. That's gonna hit me, man.
Can't get a break,
Oh,
can you?
hey,
All right, does anybody have any questions for Greg? Greg, you have anything else?
No, man.
All right.
let's talk about lightning. Now, all seriousness, we have had some weird stuff going on. We've had 3 types of lightning type damage here off this to do with this tower in the last 5 weeks, I believe.
Are we properly grounded?
Well, I asked Empower to come in that does most of our electric for us, and they have suggested that we really up the ground for that tower. So it's not gonna be a real major ordeal, probably gonna just do it ourselves, except for the welding part. Because what we'll do is we'll off of, since this is a pedestal style, yeah, well, each leg will get grounded, like a 10-foot ground rod will come out. Right now, there's one ground rod for the whole thing. The reason I know as much as I do about it is because of building this new reservoir, how they ground it all in. They actually do a loop around the whole thing. Well, obviously, when this was done, it wasn't at the standards that we're at now. So I think we can retrofit this here in the next couple of weeks and put quite a bit of additional grounding.
Yeah, you're gonna put a welding connection spot.
Yep, to each leg, basically.
Probably.
But I don't know enough about it.
What size copper are they gonna put in?
I think it's like a
400 bigger?
half or 3/4 inch cable. and then half-inch copper on each lane. But I have no clue whether it's gonna help these guys with their phones or any of this other stuff.
If we can
I
get
don't
it-
know.
if we can get it dissipated out there as much as we can, better for in here.
Well, it's really odd. I mean, because I would say more like this tower has always been probably the most susceptible to lightning damage of all of our structures.
Which sits at the highest
Well, the
elevation
highest
too.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. So I mean, we're gonna spend a little bit of money. It's not gonna be much, but to just redo, to know that our grounding is exactly to code. But like I said, I don't know enough about it to tell you if it's gonna help these other things.
So do we have lightning?
But they've all happened at the same, like, we got hit, their phones went out, like, it's all same time.
So something to ask for the building here, do we have any kind of lightning suppression?
Scott, the IT guy, Scott, talked to me last week about this because we lost phones, we lost internet, they lost all their stuff and internet. He said we needed to update the lighting stuff, but he hasn't got back with me.
Okay.
I know we had a lot of trouble back when I started at the wastewater plant. We were having lightning hits like crazy. We went through, and this has been a little while, but we went through and spent like $7,000 updating everything as far as lightning suppressants and everything. And we have had very little, in the last 10 years, we haven't had hardly anything since we did that. And I know that they were telling us that a lot of our hits was coming in, like your telemetry lines, not power lines. It's usually
Right.
your communication lines is where you get your damage. So, that's why I wondered about here on the phones. I didn't know if there's something that could be done, but yeah, we're going to improve the grounding on that tower. Hopefully it'll help other things.
When you put the rods in the ground, don't hit your water line.
Yeah, we'll try to miss that.
Have you consulted anybody on the commercial side, about the grounding of that tower?
Yes, yeah, Empower, which used to be Berry Electric, which does and they did all the grounding on the tower or
Okay.
new reservoir. I brought them up
There
here.
should be a national code, they should be able to.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, we wanna be in that code.
And, when we get the towers inspected, they inspect, what they can see above ground, obviously, but I don't think know exactly how this thing was grounded, what the part that's underground. So, but, yes, we definitely have brought in, well, matter of fact, they were here in the middle of the night helping us work on the electric anyway when we were in trouble, so. So anyway, that is being looked into, and obviously there's something going on, so. I'll just hit some of the highlights. Lori and Jason, we've got our water loss completely finished for the year. It's been validated, it's been sent off. I got my confirmation from the IFA, everything, we've met all our requirements. We're at about, pretty much right at half of the water meters being replaced now. We're right at about 900 of the 18. Lindsay, you want me to talk about the grant, or do you want to?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, so obviously, everybody probably knows we got the $750,000 Okra grant for the water line project. That was
Third time's
a
a charm.
big step. Yeah, this has been going on for years. So we did get that. What we're looking at on that water project is probably going to bid around December, first week or so of December. And then also, you guys know, I've talked a little bit about the Congressman Shreve is trying to help us get that grant through his office. It did pass the House Appropriations Committee, which was the first step. It has passed that now.
Good.
So now it will go to what they're telling me is a full House vote. And I do not know, I'm having trouble pinning down when that next full House vote is. One person mentioned they thought October, but anyway, that is we're still working on that also. So the Okra part was obviously a big part to fall in place. So
Yes.
What's total project?
it the estimated is 3.2 is the estimated cost. And I think with bidding, competition has gotten quite a bit stricter on bidding.
I'm sure time we get the money, it's gonna go up a little.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it probably will. So, but honestly, the way things have evolved, this dragging out a little bit, I think it's gonna come in cheaper than what it would have 6 months to a year ago. Mainly because most of these big contractors are really looking for jobs to bid. Everybody I talk to is looking for big jobs to bid because a lot of this grant money's been cut off these last couple of years. So I actually honestly feel like it's gonna go down from where it was. So I'm hoping, Brian, I'm hoping. So anyway, yeah, that's a big, big step. We were one of 19 towns in the state of Indiana that got that. And I definitely don't get into this. I'm probably the least social media person in this whole room probably. But I have heard some comments about tax dollars and things like that. Just to make it real clear, the way I feel about this stuff is this money's allocated. We're going to be paying for it, is the way I feel about it. It's just my personal opinion. That money's been allocated. Somebody's going to get advantage of it. And I'm going to pay for it out of my tax dollars one way or another. So I want to get out and fight for this community to get grants like this so our water rates can stay cheap as we can keep them. So that's why we do this. I mean, I don't need to say that to anybody here, but you know, that's why we do it. It's some town's gonna take advantage of it. Why not us?
Right.
Anyway, that's all I'll say about it.
Good job, Scott.
Yeah,
Huh?
good job.
Good job with.
Well, thank you for all the help. Erica, Lindsay, you guys had a lot to do with this. Thank you so much for everything we've put together on that. Hospital Road Reservoir, we are full. We're using it currently. We're doing kind of a week or at least a week test period before we start tearing out anything old. You know, go through a test period, make sure everything's good. So that's moving along good. I did mention, because there's been so much publicized about the cybersecurity, especially targeting water companies. And since the last meeting, I've taken 2 additional classes, just making sure that we're trying to cover ourselves. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but I feel pretty good where we're at. Just so you guys as council members know, when it comes to our SCADA system that we have through our communication, no chemicals can be adjusted through a computer. Chlorine gets adjusted, or chlorine, anything turned off or on, anything to do with chemicals, you have to manually do it in person. And we set it up that way because we didn't know things were going to get as bad as it has, but we knew that was coming. So, you know, double firewall at the office. I feel after going through those classes, I actually feel a little better, you know, knock on wood, but because I'll be honest, yes, we're a small town, but we also sit right next to Camp Atterbury and we feed them all their water. So I feel like it's a definite concern for us, you know. It's taken months, but the Nineveh lift station is actually on and all the flow is being recorded every single day. Matter of fact, I've got every day's flow coming through there right
Did we
here.
get the big day rain?
Excuse me?
Did we get the big day rain there last week in there?
We did. The real big 3-inch one though was about 3 days before this went online here, about 2 weeks ago or so. So I've got about 2 weeks of worth of data right now. And I will say that this is very premature, but what we're seeing right now is about double what we're billing them for the last 2 weeks.
Well, the water we're taking in.
Yeah. And that, like I said, I don't jump to conclusions. That's just a very quick look at it. But I think that's going to prove what we've been trying to
How long
say.
are we gonna let that average run
For
before
years.
we address it?
That would be a good question for Lee, because
How much data we need to collect on the influx of water? before we, address it.
When it comes to the Nineveh lift station and Nineveh Conservancy District,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that we need to have enough that we can say with confidence that this is sort of the average flow monthly, and this is how much it exceeds what we sort of contract to take from you.
right?
But I don't, yeah, I can't sit here and say that I know where it's gonna lead. I guess on the one hand, if we're gonna try to continue to take that flow from them, we need to have a number so we can adjust what we're charging. If the effect of it is that they are more motivated to sell the utility, then the conversation takes a turn at that point. And then it's not so much a matter of how much as, it's so much that
Right.
it's not manageable economically for them to do it anymore. But yeah, I'd say
I think 3
2 or
months.
3 months
I
flow.
was gonna say
That's-
3 months, I think.
I was gonna
that's-
say, I
And
honestly,
that conversation needs to take on in earnest.
Right.
Yeah,
When it's gonna take us.
they are aware of everything. The board knows exactly what's
Whatever
going
the
on.
number is, it's not gonna surprise them.
I don't think it will. And I thought it might be good for me to attend one of their board members coming up soon, just to break the ice, which the ice has been broken. But to go in and just kind of say, look, you guys, I know we're doing this. These are some of the numbers that we're kind of seeing preliminary here. But, we just wanted to make you aware of it. So then, like I said, kind of a breaking of the ice to just say, hey, we want you to be thinking about to the future because we feel like something's going to have to take place.
And you would think this year's been a crazy summer, rain-wise, but we ought to be heading into what would be a fairly wet time of year,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And I expect it will be, but, I don't know. How we're
And
supposed to plan for future summer.
I think it helps when I talk to them too and state that, look, this is a situation that IDEM is putting on us, that we now have to be more accountable. Just like the water loss audit, they're doing the same thing reverse with the wastewater.
That's
So,
true, too.
and our guidelines have gotten much tighter since we signed that original contract is another point, I feel like.
Well, the thing is, we're gonna have history of billing and we've been exceeding it for years.
Oh, yeah.
Do you,
And we're targeting,
This is well past due, it's,
and that-
Years.
it's done,
it's just somebody had to do it eventually.
hey,
that's
Scott, do
what-
you read it daily?
Yes.
Okay, then, so if we don't have rain, you can see if it's drops a whole
Record
lot.
it.
You,
We
So
read,
we'll know if they're getting a lot of
we-
water.
we
into
write
it.
down the actual gallons and then we write down rain totals and climate.
and we have confidence in the numbers, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I think back when Jim Lohorn was, I remember the technology of that meter, help me remember how it read differently than this.
That's
What was
exactly,
that?
basically this, back in those days, this meter did not even exist that I know of,
And no, we probably should have installed it back then. We weren't gonna be real confident in what that meter was gonna tell us.
Right. It was,
How it was gonna read the flow as opposed.
it was gonna read the flow coming into the lift station,
Yeah.
which set submerged all the time. To where with this type of flow meter that we have now, it's actually reading solid flow, like it reads the outgoing.
All
water.
of it's coming to our plant.
Right. We know every bit of that's coming
There's
to our
no way
plant.
they can dispute that.
But, and another thing, if this ever comes up, another thing, we're not just targeting Nineveh. We're not just picking on Nineveh Conservancy District. We're targeting our whole system. We're making corrections anywhere we can. We've redone maintenance. We've re- Yes, it is. Yeah. But I mean,
But it's a
we,
law sport.
as a utility,
It needs to.
as a utility though, we are going out because IDEM's making us too. But
It's a
we're,
comprehensive issue, but
yeah,
We can't be losing wastewater, we're gonna be collecting it.
yeah. So anyway, I
that's good. That's
obviously
good
wanted to
progress.
talk about all that and, seems
And
like
that wasn't a cheap,
Look at that, it was not cheap.
oh, no, it wasn't cheap. But we did it for the long haul, so.
Yeah. you know, what other choice do we have, right?
Yeah,
Scott?
well, it's like I said, we've all known about this for years and nothing's taken place, so it's like,
Does that flow meter give you minute by minute?
yes.
It's okay.
And I don't know exactly how to go back and do that, but it will do that. And then it tells you like as it's running and a totalizer and, you know, but it's fairly simple, Anthony, but it does store like, I can't remember how far back, it's kind of like our water meters. It'll, you know, we can go out and get a read off of it for so many days.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if it's 90 days or not. I don't remember for sure. Billing office. So we're doing that switch over, Lee, that you and I have talked quite a bit about on August the 19th here.
Okay.
So we have the key thing that we're trying to make the situation as good as we can is any of the people that are signed up to Invoice Cloud will have to, that will be cut off after the 19th. So they will have to just go on and sign up with BSNA instead of Invoice Cloud. So we're trying to get that information out there. We put it out on last month's bills. We thought we'd put something on the sign out front. We thought we'd do an alert, you know, get out and just try to, well, you know, as many of those 35% that we could get calling in and going ahead and taking care of it will be less once the date hits. We chose the 19th because of the way it falls in line with when we read our meters, when the bills go out, and that's going to give the customer the longest grace period to be able to go on there and sign up. So we've tried to, we know we're going to have problems with it, but we're trying to eliminate any of them that we possibly can. So that's all taking place this week. So excited to get there. Nineveh lift station, we've already talked about. The guys went out and replaced another one of the air reliefs. Most of these air reliefs we're going to in our system none of them are really working right. They've pretty much been in the system for over 20 years. And most of them they're not relieving, which I still say, and I know your dad will be thrilled if we could ever get it to happen. But I still think a lot of our odor problems up here is because if the air reliefs are not working back in the back of the lakes, if they're not working like they're supposed to, then that air gets pushed all the way up to Lakeview here where it becomes gravity. Now that is just totally a theory on my own part. But I still think that's going to help with once we get these all replaced, it's going to help with some of the odor problems up around Town Hall here. I'm hoping, but we're just we're buying 4 at a time and replace. We were planning on replacing all 20 some over this year.
Yeah, see, you're probably right, because the pressure coming into this building, the back pressure, pushing back out of the sewer line was pretty
bad.
high.
See, and you see what I'm saying about the gas getting trapped and not being able. Yeah, so then you're pushing it all out to as soon as it hits gravity, which is out here. Or down the road. So I don't know. Like I said, that's just my
It was
thought.
It was the single issue with the system and the progressive cavity pumps not being able to push against that head because that air couldn't get out of that system.
Couldn't get out.
And they shouldn't have installed it with all the hills. But the extent to which there had to be high points, they should have had
Yeah.
Automatic.
maybe hundreds.
Probably should have been a lot more than there are.
Oh my gosh, right. And that's why we had to switch out to centrifugal rather than progressive cavity pumps. I wonder whether that air being in the system causes the centrifugal pumps to work any harder. I'm not sure.
Well, I know.
But you kind of wonder about that.
You're pushing back,
You
so
are.
the air is always
It-
bouncing.
It's like hitting a concrete plug in there. You know, it has the same effect.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm really hoping that helps.
You're promoting the good health of that system.
Yeah.
If you make sure those things are working.
Well,
sure of it.
it's less work for the individual grinder pumps. I mean,
Well,
it's just something that's kind of been neglected with our system, and now we're trying to hope
Boy,
that we'll see some
engineer
positives.
Contractor Bo really messed us over on others. On building it in such a way that the air got in there and then not letting it get out.
Well, I know there's one right beside where Greg used to live over there. And we just replaced that one about a month ago. That, I can't tell you how long that thing let air out. Like when we put, like the old one was
When you
broke.
opened it,
Yeah. Matter of fact, we had if it tells anything, we had our sensor, our oxygen sensor down in the manhole, of course. And it was going off immediately. It was letting so much of that air out that telling us to get out of the manhole.
Wow.
And it ran for probably 5 to 10 minutes just spitting air. So see, that tells me that was all trapped in there. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Time will tell.
that's-
Time will tell. We'll
that's
see if it,
nasty.
but Lee's got a good
Well,
point.
it takes
Even
us
if,
back, you know?
even if it doesn't help with the smell, it helps with the system. It helps
Boy,
with the
it
grinder
has
pumps.
to.
It helps everything. So. We had to replace one of our big return activated sludge pumps at the plant, like a 20 horse pump. But we had a backup, so we put the backup in. Now we're having the one rebuilt, so we always have a backup there. I did a very poor job last month advocating for one of my employees. And I want to ask, I have probably 2 positions that I would like to change their responsibilities a little bit and would require a pay raise. And I've thought a lot about what took place last month. And what would you guys recommend? Like, for example, should I come in November, December and start saying, hey, this is, so then we're not talking changing money, during the middle of the year, stuff like that. Would that be a good way that this council would recommend that I handle it? Like, so come to you, like, say, for example, like I'm probably going to appoint a assistant superintendent. I would really like to get that onto next year's books. So you see what I'm saying? I'm just like, what's the best time for me to come in November?
Because we have to do the salary ordinance in December.
Okay, so see, that's what I was because that's what I thought about. I thought about last month and I thought, well,
Best time for why?
because that's when the salary ordinance would be getting adopted.
But don't we get pay raises throughout the year also, or have?
We have in the past, on promotions, usually. So I've been thinking about it and I thought, well, that's simple. I'll just get my ducks in a row for going into next year. But I guess I've never done that before with the council. So that's what I'm just asking. What would you guys recommend? How would you recommend me?
What are you asking for?
Well, like I said, I want to appoint,
No, I mean for the pay raise.
last month I asked for Audrey to get an additional raise because of the extra responsibility she's taken on.
And she don't have benefits, she's part-time.
No, she's part-time.
Okay.
So, and I think we're saving a ton of money. Well, I know we're saving a lot of money by her being part-time and we're still getting the job done. So that's why I was asking for it. But going forward, I just want to know, like, how do you guys want me to handle this? Like, should I address it in November?
Why did we vote it down last month?
Well, just,
Well, I mean, we felt like that, we do yearly raises and that there was probably a more appropriate way to reward her or anybody for that matter
So-
in the middle of the year for taking on additional roles or just doing a really good job rather than giving them a raise in the middle of the year. So because you get a raise, you get a yearly raise, and then 6 months later you're going to get another raise, and then 6 months after that you're going to get another raise. And if you look at what she was making when she first started, and then what she would be at if we were to have given her the raise, it was like $4 in like 2 years, and there's nobody that works at this town, a police officer, a superintendent, nobody that has gotten a raise like that. And
But she don't get benefits, which is a
Okay.
huge percentage of the
so
pay.
when you take on a part-time job, you know that you're not getting benefits, and the trade-off is that you have a better work-life balance when you are a part-time employee.
But we're asking her to step up and take on more.
I mean, sometimes you do have, there are things that happen that you have to take on.
So it's no
more
different,
responsibility.
the way I'm seeing it right now is no different than a promotion with one of his guys.
Well,
He's
but,
asking him to change the job duty, step up, and if he wants to pay him more, that's, Scott's our
okay,
superintendent.
so it was not presented to us like that.
I did a
Okay.
terrible job presenting it. I'll be the first.
I'm not mad at Scott.
No, I
I'm
know,
not
I
mad
know,
at him at
no,
all.
no.
And I think, the promotion, if that's what you're wanting to do, then yeah, I think November's a perfect time to do that. But that's not how, it's not how it was presented to us last month. It was just, the new system has been really hard on everybody that is dealing with the new system. And I think Scott, and I appreciate this about Scott, I have never met anybody else like Scott that wants to reward his employees for doing the good job that they do. And I 100% appreciate that. I don't think that, I just didn't agree with giving her a raise in the middle of the year, when in 6 months she's gonna get another one, and then 6 months ago she got one.
You know, and what I've thought about too is I know that you guys have responsibilities to look at this different than I look at it, is the way I think of it, because you're looking at it as the taxpayers' money.
It ain't taxpayers' money.
I know, but the average person thinks that.
Right.
And I know that you try to keep things consistent amongst all of us employees, and I appreciate that. You know, I get all that. But then I turn around and I look at it from a business perspective more. Okay, we're, keeping the office open with 2 part-time girls. Nobody around here, I mean, Corker Sweetwater has 2 full-time and a part-time doing basically what our girls are doing, 2 part-time. I can just compare all day long of nobody's doing this with 2 part-time girls with 1,800.
That office is open all week long.
So I just, Audrey's at $20 an hour, and I think we all know that you can't get hardly anybody to come and work for $20 an hour and be responsible, especially when you're talking the type of work that our girls are doing. And when I say our girls, I think of everybody. I think of Elena and Arlene, and I think of all of them, what those girls do. And to be quite honest, I felt like she's really underpaid, because the fact, if she was full-time, we'd be paying her, in there again, my estimation, about $40,000 more a year. It'd be costing this utility about $40,000 more a year for basically the same end result. So that's where I'm coming from a business standpoint, going, we're saving a ton of money, but I don't want to lose her, because if I lose her, we're in trouble. We got 2 girls that can do this job, so that's where I was coming. That's what I should have expressed last month better.
I don't, like I said, I appreciate that you want to reward your employees for doing a good job or going above and beyond. I think when we're talking about raises and stuff, that if we're wanting to do something in the middle of the year, I think we need to come up with a program to incentivize, whether it's a stipend or, I don't know, we would have to sit down and do that. But I think looking at it business-wise, I think that we should keep yearly raises, and if there's something that you want to reward somebody for in the middle of the year, that it's a stipend or a one-time thing, not raising, because now we're getting into every 6 months. our employees are
And
getting
see,
raises.
I get that point.
I get what you're saying, but Scott, we fought this, the last council before you came on. I fought this for how many years, Scott? 2 years, at least?
Probably, yeah.
we were going to lose employees because we weren't equitable for their job titles. You guys look at the girls that work here, the girls that work there. They're not apples and apples. They're two different structures, they're two different pays, two different qualifications. There's different things that go on. Scott's trying to keep it equitable, keep our employees. When I pushed this through, I'm surprised we didn't lose more employees because we were so far behind. Scott is
Well,
trying to stay equitable with the industry. He's going to stay equitable with the industry. We got tax dollars for everybody else here, but we got to manage. That's all we got. He is rate-based. He has to operate the business, keep it running at an equitable rate to keep the employees to keep it running. So I trust Scott, and when I thought with this before, when our employees came, I said, you know, I'm gonna go Greenwood, I'm gonna go Barberville. Because you guys are paying $10 less than we have. I thought for 2 years, because everybody in this room thought, we can't afford it for taxes. No, we put this in our rate case to get our employees back to where they need to be. We were 10 years behind, probably, at
Yeah,
least.
And I tell you, Brian, we've saved, by doing what we did a few years ago, I truly believe we've saved keeping valuable employees that we would have lost.
And that's what we agreed to when we did this last pay raise.
I think that we're creating a culture in our employees that if you threaten that you're gonna go somewhere else, that we're just gonna start passing out money because somebody threatens that they're gonna leave. The council and the superintendents are the ones that are, I mean, I just feel like that we're creating this thing where now the employees are telling us what we can do, what we can't do. We have to give them a raise, or they're gonna do X, Y, and Z. I mean, that's how I feel like that's what we're creating, that's the culture that we're creating.
It's not a culture, it's already created. Our culture is created. They are headhunting these employees.
Okay, but my point is that every time an employee may not like something, they can just threaten, well, I'm gonna leave, and we're gonna do exactly what they say right now.
They wanna leave for more money, they can leave for more money, but you know, if you wanna retain people we have trained and operate our systems, we need to try to retain them.
Every business is different.
Every business-
There's always a bigger dog looking to draw talent from another business. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean, and I agree with paying our employees what they ought to be paid, but that doesn't mean we exceed our capabilities to make somebody happy and keep them from going for somebody
We're not
else.
exceeding our capabilities, we're using.
We
part-time
can eventually exceed our capabilities if we keep handing out raises through the year. If we're keeping up with times and doing what we're supposed to be doing, and he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and coming in November saying, hey, this is where we need to be at right now, we need to do that. Okay, but we can't exceed we can't say, okay, well, they're going to go to Burgersville because they're offering $10,000 more a year. Burgersville's a way
I agree with Ken.
different system, way more money to throw around. We have to operate within our means, within our system, within our utility.
We've already planned for this, it's operational, we've got it, we planned for it.
Okay, so I
But-
guess my point then is, if we plan for this, why is it such a problem that we're waiting for yearly raises rather than getting raises in between?
Yearly raises.
Well,
are
can I
for cost
interject
of
just a
living
minute?
raises.
Let me interject just a second. You're right. Everybody's right here. Like, I'm hearing all this stuff and everybody's right, and I agree with all that. One thing that I do want to point out, though, is we did have a shift that we had to deal with, which was Arlene was ready to retire, but Audrey was not really ready to go full time. So there again, I went about it. I did not do a good job with my point last week. But see, that's a lot of those responsibilities have switched over throughout this year. And I don't have, so I get what everybody's saying, but at the same time, I'm sitting there going, guys, we're doing the job and we're saving $40,000 a year.
Yes.
I mean, that's, and I get everybody's point, but the truth of it is, we're getting the job done with 2 part-time people and we're saving $40,000 a year. My philosophy was, I don't want to lose one of those two. I've only got 2 girls that work part-time and I don't want to lose them. That's more work, but I've had to adjust this throughout the year. You know, we've had to make that adjustment throughout the year too. That's just something I wanted to point out, you know.
Well, come November, I mean, we're 3 months away.
Right.
I mean, you'll have everything
not the
set
end of
up
the
by
world.
then.
Struggle with when we try to tie your hands.
Well, I felt like
Maybe
after,
there's argument trying to keep Scott house running and keep it equitable. We're not exceeding, that's the thing, you know, we were very conservative with last raises. We never exceeded. Now, there's several towns making more than us. We hit the middle. When we did pay scale, we hit the middle. We didn't hit highs, we didn't hit lows. We definitely got the lowest. We got out the lowest. But we set it in the middle. We didn't set it high.
When we do this, we need to have our structure with it.
The structure
The
is,
structure being that Scott comes to us in November and says, hey, this is what we've got, this is what we need to do.
his business don't operate.
And that,
Qualifications.
and that,
When he comes to us in May, June, July,
if I want to raise, I mean, I personally,
I'm more of a, hey, look ahead, see where we
need to be, this is where we're gonna be at, this is what we're making now, let's go with it.
I make the motion, let's, we need to raise.
You're going down a slippery slope where when there's a vote that takes place and somebody else doesn't like it, then you take a revote. I will start taking revotes on everything that we've ever taken a vote on
let's,
because I didn't like it.
I didn't mean for this conversation to
Well,
go
I
this
figured
direction.
it was coming anyways. to
I
be
just-
completely honest.
I wanted to,
Scott should have the leeway to keep his employees. We fought this battle already. That's how I feel.
But at the same, on the same note, if somebody wants to leave because they're not getting another $1 an hour raise, I get it, but let them leave.
and let me also say that I've never had that happen. I've never had one single person, but I truly, truly believe that it's because we've been preventative with our structure.
And I agree with you on that too.
But I can go about this a little different. I mean, that's. I
I'm
can
gonna,
go
I'm gonna
about this-
put my 2 cents in here, and it might, I'll change my terminology, upset some people. But when we vote on things of that importance and stuff like that, I don't think we should never vote on it unless we have all 5 members here. Because when you only have 4, that puts, I'm not trying to make anything wrong with it, but some people are in a position where they may or may not vote the way they really want to.
That's
But
a state legislature issue.
right. Oh, I mean, I agree with you on that. I mean, that's just the way life is. But I just think we shouldn't vote on things like that unless we have all 5 members here.
We are voted in by our community to be here every month and do our job.
5 of us are
If one
town
of us
council.
can't show up and there's a vote that comes up,
Right.
then it's up to statutorily,
I know that, yes,
if she chooses to.
right. I understand it. But, I mean, personally, I'm just saying personally. but,
If I
you know,
miss a meeting and something comes up, I mean, that's my fault.
yeah, and you can always ask for a revote, so where the 5
Well, I
people
wouldn't
here,
do that.
then, but, I mean, you can't. But you can do that if you have 5 members. 'cause
Shame on me
it
for
may
missing the
change.
meeting.
Yeah, you know, so, I mean, that's my opinion.
So I'm gonna be coming in probably in November with some restructuring a little bit within our office. And I'll be bringing in, and I'll have plenty of information back in what I, am asking for. I'm just asking for what's the best way for me to handle it. That's all I've asked. I know, trust me, I know. I'm gonna be brutally honest, okay? I know that I had got the votes here tonight if I wanted to re-ask for that. That is not how I want to do things. That is not how I will do things. I want to convince you guys of why I want to do something. And it's the right thing to do. So that's why I'm not asking tonight. But I am asking, like, what would be the best way to go about it, because that's what I intend to do.
Keep in mind, good help's hard to find.
Well, I mean, trust me, I get very nervous about, I've got 2 part-time girls that know a system, barely know a system. Barely know a system, and what would I do?
Yeah, you guys don't.
What would I do
You
if
guys
one of
don't
them two
realize
walked out?
the ramifications
I
of
mean,
losing something.
I don't even know who I would call to get me started on what to do.
And to add to that note, you don't understand if the clerk treasurer and her deputy walked out either.
I don't.
And I get it.
I don't.
But if those people that are working for our utility enjoy their job and are loyal to their boss, they're not going to up and leave or give an ultimatum. They're going to say, okay, maybe next round,
I
let's
feel-
can I get to this point in my raise? In looking at it from a utility standpoint all the time, I see what you're saying, but
We're running a utility. It's not a tax-based system.
it's a taxpayer-owned utility.
That's correct.
So when I'm saying that is we need to still be responsible to our taxpayers.
We're, with the utility, we're responsible for a rate. It's not costing the town any money.
We're not a Duke Energy where it's a private and they can say, this is how much we're going to pay our guys tomorrow. Everybody's getting a $5,000 bonus. We don't do that.
You're comparing this, your whole argument is comparing the office help here that's getting benefits, making $40,000 more a year in benefits, to part-time employees who are pulling
It
extra.
is
Hang
the
on.
people
I'll let you
leaving.
finish it, Annette. To part-time employees that are pulling extra duty now, are going to pull extra duty. And he's always asking to reward them, and guess what? They work 5 days a week, and that office is open 24, for the hours it's supposed to be open for that 5 days a week. This one is not.
Yes, it is.
It's always open.
Okay. I've been here when it's closed.
And really, what are you going to do up here? Everything that's been taken, that needs
I'm just
attention's
saying,
been
they
taken
are
over.
working the hours. They don't get time at home, they don't get, whatever you call it.
Well, they're part-time, right?
Part-time, but they're working full.
How many hours are they
They're
working?
working all their hours.
25, 30.
Okay, but you chose to be.
Again,
part-time.
they chose to be
We're trying to
part-time.
retain these people.
Okay, but you can't give somebody, a part-time person, like, they're full-time, or they're part-time for a reason, they chose to be. They chose to be part-time because they wanted.
give
the
Mark
money,
part-time
and
raises.
because- Who?
We give Mark raises, he was part-time,
Mark who?
our, grounds person. He was
We have
part-time.
Tony, you mean in the past?
When we had Mark, yeah, we give him raises, he was part-time.
Sure, we gave him raises, but they were once a year, like everybody else.
And I don't believe he didn't even make $20 an hour.
Yeah, he did.
He might have been right at it.
But anyway, I was strapped with Scott again and going back down the same road we were before. That's my, yeah.
You are, you're being dramatic, Scott.
No, I'm not.
You are being dramatic.
Comparing town and our utility, that's.
Scott, do you believe that either the girls are going to give us an ultimatum or quit randomly? Do you feel like
No.
that's imminent? Okay, so you're
Po-
being dramatic.
One possibly more than the other, just
Nobody's
because I
keeping-
think she'll need the money.
Nobody's keeping money from them.
Okay.
I am happy that Scott is saying that in November, he wants to make some, changes in the structure with people, and I'm happy. I don't have a problem giving people money. I agree that there should be a structure to all this. If you wanna reward somebody in the middle of the year, a stipend, a pizza, something, I don't know.
We
can
did,
come
you know, the
up
thing
with-
is, we put a structure to it that allows Scott to do it. We put that structure in place. The same option was for this place here, to put a structure in place. Somebody would follow through with that structure. I took care of this one, me, Mike, and him, put a structure to it, it's in writing.
Can I ask a question? Do you only care about the utility? Because you're so focused on the utility and there's a whole town that you also have to worry about.
This is not affecting the town,
Yeah,
what we're
but
doing.
you give examples or explain things, you simply don't, like,
Who-
it just comes off as if you only care about, you're only here for the utility, not the town.
The utility does affect the
The
town.
utility affects the town big time in the money we bring in, and I'm trying to keep it going in the good direction we've had it
But
going.
Scott just said that he does not feel like that any of his people are gonna give us an ultimatum.
Okay.
So why, like,
I'll drop it, but you know, Scott came to me for the raise, so twice, you know.
okay,
All right.
and he literally just said, I didn't come to rehash it, I wanna know going to the future.
I'll drop it. We'll talk about it in November.
I don't want it voted tonight because I don't want it voted on this situation. I want it voted, I want you guys to feel, I want to bring more information into you to where you feel like what I'm asking is falls right in line with other utilities and stuff like that, and then we'll go from there. Cause like I said, I mean, I know, yeah, I could have got 3 of the 5 votes tonight, but that's not how I do things. That's just not. I mean,
The thing is, we plan on.
you're right,
stepping
Brian.
up.
Most of
planned
these
on
guys
stepping
don't know
up.
what we worked on back then.
And to see a torpedo, but sorry, the circumstances.
I guess from my standpoint, we need to look at the people that make us the money.
Right.
Our guys out in the field that are getting up in the middle of the night. And,
Yeah,
and,
but
and I get it. Our ladies in the office don't technically make us money.
I absolutely 110% disagree with you on that.
Well, and that's fine. AI is going to take that job from them eventually.
Okay.
AI can't take our job away from our guys in the field.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Right.
Okay, guys, we beat this
So-
horse to death right now.
That's
Basically,
what I'm saying. Remember
going
who's making
nowhere.
us money.
It's going nowhere.
Because eventually, like I said, AI will take the job.
Those guys won't have any money to have any equipment or do anything else if those girls aren't doing their job in that office, collecting that money, collecting it the way it should be collected.
I understand, but AI is going to take the jobs.
Okay.
It's
Well, I
coming
hope that-
soon.
I hope
It's coming
I'm
sooner.
wrong.
I hope it doesn't either, but it's coming sooner than what we think.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a click on the computer. It's going to take all that information that all those ladies are doing.
God help us when it does.
And also they're going to be in there and going,
But
okay,
there's
thank
no
you.
personal
Thank you,
stuff.
thank you. You'll have one lady in the office, maybe. I'm just saying, I think we need to prepare for that.
I think there's so
I
much
disagree
more
with
that those girls do between customer service. We have some of the best customers. I don't think many small towns can go out and say that they have the customer service that they get right here. Matter of fact, I have that brought up to me all the time. And that will be a sad day when we go to what you're talking about.
I don't disagree, but that's.
I just hope I'm not here when
Even
it
the
happens.
clerk treasurer's position.
And we do it with so few
It's
employees.
going to be gone.
I don't have a problem with paying people what they deserve, but there needs to be structure to it. I believe
There is structure to it.
that, okay, if you're,
Scott's already got the structure.
This time we get involved.
well, did the structure
They're just hitting the
include
ball back
a
and forth.
half-year raise?
Scott still embraces how he wants, and then he thinks they deserve enough.
Okay, the point is though, is that we should be doing
Yeah.
yearly raises, and then if you want to reward people in the middle of the year, there's some type of incentive that you give them, that's a one-time thing.
And he's got that in his structure. They all
Okay, so then what are, so the 6-month raise is part of the structure?
He's bumping them up to a different job, doing more, she's part-time, he's asking for a little bit more money,
So
ask her to do more.
to your point,
Who's on second?
that
But we're not worried about her leaving.
we're,
Yeah.
to-
You're letting fear move you through this whole thing. You're so fearful
Brian.
that somebody's gonna quit. We're just gonna throw money at them every time we're scared.
No, I was trying to get up in the median.
But you
Hey,
keep
Scott.
saying they might
Good
be.
job
they
on
might
Eddie
be,
once
they
again.
might
Those
be.
girls are not, those girls were not in the median when we.
Hey, do you think 1 month or 2 weeks
So-
is long enough to run that before we shut down?
Brian, is to your point you
Or do you
made,
think?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you think?
Do you think
Well,
a
it
board
just
of
depends on how it
directors-
goes. If it goes smooth, then I
Is
think
it
it
completely
which is
full?
what we are, he works for
Okay.
the
I was gonna
town.
say maybe, 2 to 4 weeks just to make
Okay.
sure we're absolutely 100%.
We are
sure
basically a board of
that it's
directors.
Working and we could
Okay.
bypass this
Charlie.
bullshit that's running on right.
So
We can't hear.
That's why I was talking.
we,
Oh, no, we can't hear.
No.
so I understand we want to give him the power to give the raises, but as a board of directors, we need to give him direction to give those raises. Not just say,
We asked questions and prove it, yes.
not just say, well, you can give them when you want, how you want, and how big. right?
Yeah, we need discretion.
So we have to keep, and I'm not dogging on him, but we need to keep our superintendent in check with what he's handing out. That's all I'm saying
Oh, I
here.
guess say you're getting more employee than some, and you're getting $40,000 savings, and you're only asking for how much a year?
Yeah.
How much you
and-
asking for a year?
It's like 24.
And how, and
2400.
that's, and from a business standpoint, that's the advantage that the business has by hiring a part-time employee, being able to save that money. You're not saving money if you continually give them raises. Okay? You, as a business, you're getting that advantage of a part-time employee. That's why they do it.
Do you understand that?
I understand all of it.
No, do you understand services firm could turn this business around?
I get it,
We
but,
want to keep it going.
yeah, and we want to keep it going responsibly.
Going back into the gear thing.
Okay.
All right, we beat this dog enough. Let's move on.
I'm done.
But anyway, good job on the 81%. And I bet you next month it's gonna be 85 for you.
Oh,
Are you still gonna be using just the new one now, right?
No, we'll be using that old one here for at least 2 more weeks.
Oh, okay. All right, all right.
And
I'll
now
give you a
don't
break
get
from
too
it then.
don't get too jumpy over there.
I'll give you a break on it. then.
We're-
I'll
we're
give you-
gonna-
I'll give you.
We're
2
going to be
months.
wasting a pretty large amount of water out of the bottom of that old. Not a lot, but if you take a couple feet, 3 feet out of that old reservoir, that's a lot of
But
water.
you're not running that through the meter though, right?
So give us 3 months or so.
You're not gonna run that through the meter though, right?
No, but that'll show as a loss. No, but that'll show for a loss.
Scratch it as a,
No, because we're metering waste.
okay.
Well, I mean,
Hey.
it kind of does, but the reverse thinking,
What's this?
because in that case, we're getting more pumped to us.
I know that it
Because we should. So, but it kind of does,
Watch
but
out,
just
Ashley.
strictly waste.
Hey, Dave, are you done?
Jeez.
Wait, no.
Call me Dave. What, who can I call you?
Sure.
Follow there.
Yeah.
Don't come over here and hit me.
We've been working on low hanging branches, mainly on the bus routes. We've got pretty much all the bus route done. There's still a lot more to do. So that's what we're gonna be working on, or I'm gonna be working on. I got the ruts taken care of on riser. Got the ditch cleaned out, then riprap put down on Andes and Lakeview for the residents. Been working on the paving application for next year. It's due by September 30th. So I should have the calculations for the money by next week. I'll get with Erica, see how the funds are looking for next year. Plan on attending a Asphalt 101 seminar next week. Try to learn as much as I can. And the paving project should start in the next week or two. Erica said she'd put something on Facebook and stuff, because like Nash,
Well, not yet, because we
don't know Yeah, exactly yeah.
when they work.
but I didn't know if there's something else that I could do. Like hand out flyers or something. Because like Nash, Lakeview from Stopek back, once they start paving, residents aren't gonna be able to.
And we can put something on there now, just to kind of give them a heads up,
Okay,
and then when we're like 2 days out, we can let them know more of a time frame
okay,
that it's gonna be, because we can do it everywhere, you know, with alert, Facebook,
Okay.
sign, Instagram. We can put that on there tomorrow,
okay.
you just let me know exactly the road.
I would ask them though, what date
They're supposed
they've
to,
got you pinned down for though.
they're supposed to get with me a few days before, because the rain put them back, so. And also, Kevin could probably explain it better than me, but they're putting the 1.5 or 2 inches evenly across the whole road. So residents can't complain that the contour of the roads.
They're not
Change.
changing the slopes and
Crown.
contours of the
Yeah.
road anymore.
And my last thing is Steve put in his 2 weeks notice. He's got his construction thing going on. He's getting behind on work, so this is his last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Funny, isn't it?
Mhm.
I think it's on business.
That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Erica? All right, so I'm asking for approval of claims tonight. General claims, this does seem very low. So, BSNA, Colorado, trying to figure out if this is right. I think why this looks so low is because how the pay fell the last time last month, it was on last month's claims and not this month. So, general claims, 75,000, 930, utilities, 209, 413.95. July 30th allowance docket, 45,000, 5178. August 13th allowance docket, 49,167.01. HWC invoice number 2, 23,879.66. Mid Atlantic pay app number 7, 238, 854.60.
Can you remind me what the mid-Atlantic pay app is?
It's the storage reservoir.
Oh, okay.
Make a contract.
Okay. All right, well, I make a motion to approve the claims as read by our clerk treasurer.
Second.
Votes?
Yes.
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 Then I have two, for Christine. The first one is Gerald Consulting for $39,000. This one, we will pay to Gerald Consulting, and then once we get the funds for the grant, we can get reimbursed for that $39,000. And then, she also needs us to sign a new contract, so for the new project that's coming up. She also needs us to sign a new, contract for that. I would need both of them. And do you have, like, this Christie's contract that typically change, do you ever see them for Gerald Consulting?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can send that to you, but,
I make a motion that we approve, Gerald Consulting invoice for $39,000, and then just the approval of the contract for Gerald Consulting.
Second.
Votes?
What's the second contract for?
for the new project,
Okay.
for the line.
Yes.
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 Anything else? So next month, things, we're gonna, will be our adoption hearing for, our public hearing for the budget. We're working on it. It's obviously a little complicated this year because of our new system. It's completely different, and ELGF has a new system that's out, so everything's completely new. I'm meeting with, two consultants tomorrow. Jim Higgins, one of them, and Janet, the other one, to see what, about the SBA one and what we're gonna hopefully try to look at. I was supposed to get them 2 weeks ago, but for 3 days, our Wi-Fi was out, and then, Paisley had her surgery, so I wasn't in here, at that time. So really just trying to work on getting the budget done, and, oh, yes, so typically, we kind of put in a range for, raises. I have put in 4% right now, but does everybody want me to stick at 4, or do you want to go a little higher? And this is just for budgeting purposes, it's not setting the salary ordinance. I just need to enter something to budget.
What is the rate right now? I mean,
Cost of living.
yeah,
I think
cost of
last
living
year
right
was
now.
4%. No, we didn't do 4%. It was like maybe it was 4%.
I think we did 3.5.
Or 3.5.
I think we did 3.5.
2.8, it says.
2.8, then we go a little higher to 3 then. To stay up with cost of living.
Say the 4 is probably a good start.
Well, yeah, I mean, 4 would give us wiggle room, because it would show us where we're at. And then if we wanted to go down, we would go down from there.
Yeah.
If we wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay, so, y'all think 4 sounds good to start with?
It's not locked in stone, so
Yeah, all right. So I-
Right, because we can't go, so
can't go higher, but you can
you
go
can go
lower.
higher now. So if you want, I can do 5, and then you can adjust down. We can't go back up.
Well, it's a fancy for being denied.
No, it's,
I mean,
no,
but
that's not how it
budget
works.
wise.
That's not how it works.
Okay, sorry.
You don't ask for money from the state.
Okay.
I enter a budget based off of revenue that we are getting. No one's from the state just giving out money. That's not how budgets work. You ask for permission to spend, so that's why.
Yeah.
If you budget at 5%, then I know all the numbers. I know before I submit a budget if it's gonna get approved.
Okay.
So that's
4%
why
sounds
it's,
good.
that's it.
Okay. Lee?
Not much. I was asked to look through, or to establish an ordinance violation bureau. We've had one forever. We've got scheduled under the Ordinance Violations Bureau as the offenses that we can write: prohibited parking, abandoned vehicles, other nuisance violations, animals running at large, several that have to do with animals. Weeds and rain vegetation. We got an ordinance for disturbing places of worship. I don't know. But in any case, we have it, and I think, I get with Greg on whether we want to start. I think, Greg, if I ask you how many citations you're writing for these sorts of things, you are. So I need to maybe understand that if you think you want to start writing those violations to come to the town to be paid, but the structure, the mechanism, the ordinance we need, we've had that in place. I don't think there's anything to do there unless we want to change the schedule of the fines, but it's already in place. I was asked, I think a couple meetings ago, about trying to get with Russ Johnson.
Yeah.
You had a concern about the emergency route out of town.
Yeah.
And Charlie, maybe this is going to be another one of those times where you remember things a lot better than I do, but I found an agreement that was done way back in 2008 or 9
Mhm.
when Northlake
Yeah.
was doing their lake.
Right.
And they had an agreement with Russ to be able to go out the back way.
Right.
And there was an escrow arrangement because they put gravel down and sort of cleared the road so they'd be able,
Right.
and they were actually actively using it.
Yes.
And the town was sort of sitting alongside, with an agreement with Russ that we would have the right to use that road indefinitely. It was a 5-year term, but then it renewed automatically every two years. I've not been very good about this over the years. Drafting agreements, reviewing agreements, and getting them in a form where I send them out to be signed, but then not getting a copy of the assignment back. Erica is going to see what she might find in the way of a signed agreement, because I don't have it. There were easements that were signed, but I don't see that they were recorded. And I just don't know. Back 17 years ago, what ended up getting done. But before, I actually called Russ and left a message for him, and I did not get a return call from him. But I kind of want to see what we might already have before I go ask for something that I might not need. So I'm working on it. And I've not forgotten about it. And I'll see whether that was done and whether it's sort of still in effect, you know, it might be, so.
Was there ever another cutoff date, even though it was renewed every 2 years, was there
Well,
ever
he
a
had the right.
cutoff
He
date on
can
it?
terminate whenever he wants.
Right.
That's the way it was done. But to my knowledge, there never was a notice, and it may be something that just everyone just sort of forgot about, because I don't think he has any interest in that, right, in doing it. But-
No, nothing's been done.
But my understanding is it's all over early, right?
Pretty much, yeah, but I'm in Bush Hole, we take it back down again,
Okay,
but
so anyway, those are things I've been, working on, and Scott and I spent some time shortly after the last meeting trying to figure out how to navigate through this. He has an aid business. Yes, interesting, that. And he, as he reported, they're gonna, we kind of decided the best way to do this is to make a clean break, from invoice cloud, move everything over, get it working, make sure the transition's complete, and then see what we might be able to do to sort of educate ourselves with the contract. So that's what's happening in, or 2 days, right? Okay. So,
on that Russ Johnson thing too, once we find out for sure that we're okay to use it if need to, then I'll talk to that guy that owns that driveway that we gotta use, that says on his property. He's kinda okay with it, but I told him, I said, I don't know for sure until we get done with Russ, with Russ,
right.
to see if he's gonna say okay or not. Now, there's another possible way to go, but
yeah, I looked at it again, and, it is unnerving when you think that, what could?
right. I mean, if push came to shove, where if the dam ever got wiped out, we could always use it, and somebody would just have to.
Well, I reckon, but I don't know that we want to operate under those circumstances. Anyway, just an update. I can find something, you want me to just talk some more, saying and revoking. Otherwise, I'll.
Yeah, all right. Does anybody have any old business?
Not old, mine's new.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, on the trimming the tree limbs around the tornado siren, they said they'd like to see them back 8 to 10 feet away from the siren, all the way up to the top. And I got 3 bids, one from White, it was $700, one from Brown for $8, and one from Cox, which was $16.50. I've never seen the White do work, but I've seen Brown and Cox. And they're in the area, and I've seen their work and I like it, so I would suggest that we let Brown Service do it for $800. Because I know they've got the equipment to go up that high to do it, because it's quite high.
I mean,
Yeah, but do we have to take the lowest bid since he got?
Well,
this?
probably not, because it's not a public works project, it's a service contract, and I consider it really maintenance rather than, new construction, and again, not public works, so.
Okay.
And I think if you have, especially folks, I understand you've done this before, I think there are enough incentives in the small purchasing policy.
But Brown with the 800 to do it, I think it's the better choice.
who,
So let me read these for you real quick.
Nine.
White's is 2 trees cut down by tornado siren plus brush by tornado siren, clean debris and wood, or leave debris and wood. Okay.
Did you just get those?
Brown's cut vegetation back of tornado siren 10 feet, clear all around pole, which is pretty vague.
But I told him I just wanted it trimmed. I don't know why he put down cut down trees.
Okay. I'm just, so that you know.
Right.
If we have them cut back 10 feet, that's gonna grow back 5 feet next spring. They grow pretty quick. I'd like to see them cut it back probably 15 or 20 feet.
Well, we gotta be careful, because some of that is on White Lake property. So,
But it's overhanging, right?
but if we go back 15 feet, you're back to the trees and cutting the trees down.
And do you think White Lake personally would have an issue with cutting? branches back.
The branches, trimming them, no.
Well, get permission. so-
Yeah, well, he's sitting right there, trimming them, no.
We've already had the conversation, trimming back the branches.
So can
Taking
we,
trees out is a much more significant issue, also will be a more significant cost.
I mean, just, I'd like to see a little bit more clearance myself, because that stuff grows back so quick, those little small.
But that's what the tornado guys suggested, 8 to 10 feet. They
So
suggested
we
that.
wanna keep that for a few years.
Maybe I would just call Brown about it and say, can you put it an extra 5 feet?
Yeah, I can do that, yeah. Yeah. As long as that's,
Yeah, you'll have to see if that extra 5 feet basically means now you're taking down a tree or two.
right,
Is there a lot there?
okay. Back to the truck, but not the, yeah, I got you.
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to approve the quote for $800 to trim the trees back. And possibly more than 10 feet.
Yeah.
We're hoping. So I'll make that motion.
We don't want more 800 to go further, you know.
Can't see why a couple feet would be
Yeah,
that big
they
of a
just
difference if you're
whack
just
a
dropping
couple
them.
feet back, I
I
would
mean,
say so,
the
yeah.
motion is to approve it, but also ask if they would do more. So either way, it's gonna happen.
So either they'll do it or they won't.
Right,
Yep, so I seconded it, votes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes,
yes.
Yes.
All right, Charlie, is that it from you?
I got one thing.
Okay.
Something to think about in the future, and this is a Scott question too. Would it be wise for us to investigate doing a reoccurring increase in the water sewer bill every year? It may be a 0.5 or a 1/3% versus every 10 years coming in and saying, well, we need 15% or 12% or 8%. If we come in at a 0.5% or maybe even 3/4%, whatever the rate, our rate guy finds, we're not slapping people in the face every 5 years.
The thing is.
So that
when
if
you go
something
through,
comes
like,
up,
when we go through Brock, that's kind of regulated on how much we can make.
And his
I mean,
fees are,
to get the rate case we did this, we had projects.
well,
his
and that's,
fees are not cheap either.
well, and what I'm getting at is with the reoccurring increase, then we have the opportunity to go back if we need more, if what we're doing is not enough, to vote, okay, yeah, we need to increase it 2% this year because we got to cover our costs. Costs jump more than generally
So I
anticipated.
know it was Brock, I mean, but back my last several years, recommendation was, they don't like to see yearly increases. Like I said.
Well, I think every rate consultant you ask will tell you that you ought to have a rate analysis done about every 3 years. Certainly no longer than every 5 years. And you ought to be adjusting rates in those increments, not fall asleep and like you say, have an 8, 10, 12-year period of time because you're not operating the utility very efficiently and then you're really angering your ratepayers because they get hit with such a big increase.
Correct.
And I think that, I don't know what, and I think you're going to use Jim Higgins, and I kind of hope you do, going forward. But you probably ought to pose that question to him or whoever your rate consultant is. But to me, it would make a lot of sense to have a rate study done for a 5-year projection going out ahead. And based on that study, if you want to adopt an ordinance to implement a 1.5% rate increase over the next 5 years, each year, if you support it with that rate study, I think that's absolutely the best way to do rate increases, and wire it in and just be done with it. And you could adopt the ordinance to implement them now and not have to do anything every year. You could do it now and you would just do it. Incremental increase over the next however many years. That is, to my mind, the absolute best way. It's a great idea. The only thing that will mess that up is if you have a project that drops in the middle of that. But I don't know whether you're at a point right now where you can look out and say, we really don't anticipate a capital project that will require debt for the next 5 or 6 years. So let's do that. Yeah, I think that'd be great.
I have always liked small increments versus.
Everybody does, but what happens, and you all do a better job than most towns. You just do. But council, they just fall asleep. They will have their rate consultant tell them that every time they come, and they just won't do it. And I don't know that it needs to be every year, but it can't be 8 years. It just can't. But to your point, you can put it on cruise control and just let it take care of itself.
Yes.
And to me, that's a brilliant idea. But I think you need a study as a foundation for that. But I don't think that amounts to much, because we've had a study done fairly recently anyway, and you can pick up, with it. Yeah, right. It's more kind of updating the study that you've had done and put it in place. And then shelve that thing, and this council's not gonna fall asleep because you've taken care of, you've been proactive.
Well, that's what I remember, we're good for a year or two.
I would say.
Unless we get hit with another project, we don't get the money for this.
What I'm seeing now, and probably like now's a good time to look at maybe going 2 years from where we're at right now. Or I mean, like I can see with, like, for example, what Lee's talking about, getting to a point where we don't see any big projects. Well, when that one's done, going up to.
And the last rate study you had, I think you adopted the 5-year rate. Do you remember?
I don't think it was.
Well, I mean, they do rates where they say that if we're looking at, you'll need this amount of increase to cover the operational and maintenance costs and debt service for the utility for the next 5 years. Or 3 years.
We're covered for 5.
They'll always, was Steve the last one that did it? He was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he did, I'm almost promise you in his rate study, it'll be a 1 year, a 3 year, and a 5 year rate.
That
And
rings
if you
a bell,
adopted the 5
rings a
year
bell.
and he did it right, and things go the way he would expect, then you really ought not need a rate increase for 5 years.
Right, right.
But
But
I don't know
I'm
whether
trying to
that's
look
true or
ahead
not.
now saying, okay, so we don't want to come up in 5 years and say, hey, we need another 10%
Right.
or 8%.
But if it
So-
was done right, and the numbers bear that out, you ought not need any rate increase for 5 years. But I think it's a great idea. I think it's worth investigating. But at this point, you probably need to be guided by the rate consultant
I think,
to move this
That's a
forward.
Jim question too.
Yeah, it is. And
I think just conversations I've had with Jim, I think Jim would recommend exactly what we're talking.
the only reason a rate consultant doesn't want to do that is because they're not going to do a rate study. But not many of them are selfish and motivated.
I think one example of what you're talking about is going through COVID. When we went through COVID, nobody anticipated that with the cost of that. I feel very fortunate that it fell when we were making all those big changes and we got our efficiency up 60-some%, 80%, because that's what really carried that extra money or revenue. Carried us through those COVID times when everything got up so high. Because we would have been in trouble had we not done that. We'd have been off a pretty good rate.
It was 239%, boys and girls.
What?
239%.
Rate increase? Oh my God.
And that's what I'm looking to avoid because I've heard from more than I've spoken to more than one person in town about, because they do not, they don't want you to come to them and say, we're getting a 12% increase.
Right.
They do. I mean, you can look online, you can talk to somebody. Oh my God, my water bill's going up again. Well, if we slowly increment it in the future, then it's set. It's like, okay, well, we're getting that $3 or $4 increase this year.
That's what everyone's
I
supposed to do.
totally agree with
They
you.
just don't do it.
Just like putting a frog in cold water and bring it up slowly.
I just want to save us in the future councils, the shock in our community, the shock of an increase.
I think it's a great idea.
And
That we shouldn't really have to absorb if we do it correctly.
And we tried to avoid it. Hell, we did 3 years of trying to get a grant. We really thought we were going to have a good chance at it.
And one thing we got, that in 6 years, our sewer debt will be paid. Yeah, 32, when we redid it in
Anyways,
2012,
I wanted to throw that
2032.
out there. So we'll look at it.
Okay. I do have one or two more things. I might save the last one for.
Talk
next
about
meeting.
me.
So we talked about a community center building. The last time I talked to Chrissy Gerald about it, she said that we needed to get with, Erica about just like finances and stuff like that. I love that, I can't remember what her name is now, but she presented the check to the John, yes. Maybe that's somebody that Miranda, that we could have a little chat with to see if they could, because with SB one, I mean, we still don't know what the money's gonna be like. In theory, I would love to have a community building. I think SB one puts a big wrench in what we want to do and stuff that we want to provide for our residents. But if we can see maybe if Miranda can help us out, or if anybody else wants to take the initiative to look and see if there's any other grants or anything that we could use to make this happen.
So that's a community center and that's parks. Would they be the ones that will get the grants?
Well, this was an idea that the council kind of, sure, the park could do it, but I really would like to see the council.
Can
do
we go after
something
the
like
grants
this.
since that's a park?
Yes.
So,
do the Oprah grant that
right.
utility just got.
The idea behind
You
it,
won't get it for a community center.
I brought this to I know what it is. I brought this to the council a couple years ago.
yeah, the idea behind the funding was also to go out to our businesses, our foundations, so on and so forth, our private donations to see if we could bring in more.
So my question is, I can't remember, is that a 50% match or is that
20%.
20% match, 20% match?
Yeah, I know that SB one is a struggle for all cities. I would really like to see us exhaust all our, I don't want to lose sight of the community building. We haven't talked about it for a while. I really want to exhaust all our options and to see if we can actually make it happen despite SB one.
So as an example, I'm thinking community center, nice sized building, basketball court, whatever you can put inside of it. You're looking at something probably the size of Scott's, which was 1.6 million.
Yeah.
So 20% on that's
Did you ever meet with?
I spoke with the architect on it, and
300,000 would be our match.
he was thinking somewhere in the 1.6 to 2
So we're looking at
million dollar mark,
so
possibly. So, and that's all dependent on how big, are we going to have to be required to have sprinkler systems? Are we going to have a kitchen? So on, just different variables are going to throw different price amounts into that.
So you're looking at
Final cost.
$300,000 town investment.
Could be up to $1 million, depending on the direction that we go.
Then what's that gonna do for our account at $1 million that we gotta put up for what? I know the wastewater company has that set aside, but we can't use
Sure,
that.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's just
though.
a scenario.
Yeah.
We need to go out and look for money to see if we can get help with it.
Have you talked to Christie about when the next rounds,
I have not.
because I know, you'll have dates there. I forget when that second round comes around.
It was supposed to be this fall.
Was it fall?
Yeah, because we already met with her when she was here that time. She's already started doing.
Well, but I've talked to her since then,
Okay.
and she said that we would need to get with you to see.
I know the income sort of is good for till like 23rd. But if I get some good, you don't have to have that.
So we're good till 2030.
Yeah,
Oh.
we did do a second.
Yeah, okay, she said, we completed our income survey so we can apply for an Okra $750,000 grant whenever you all have the max money. Not sure about the update with the architect on if you all wanted him to move forward with the preliminary architecture. So, that's what,
I'm pretty 99% positive it's 20% match. I've got 2 pages worth of notes down at the house, I can tell you.
I think he's,
It required a 4-member board,
yes,
to go out and advisory board.
yeah,
That advisory board would also be responsible for also reaching out, looking for money from businesses, foundations, Pacers Foundation, Colts Foundation, anybody that is willing to help out
right,
a community with a community center.
yeah.
Well, I know Christine, literally got on the phone, call businesses and stuff, and gotten like $40,000 for donation a week. I mean, there are definitely funding options out there. There's the, patronosity, I think is what it is.
Oh, yeah.
And it's 100% match. So if we say we have a project that's $100,000, so we want to try to raise 50, and if we need that 50, they'll match us 100%. So there are several different options.
Okay.
There's a lot of opportunity for us out there. We just got to go after it.
Yes. Okay, and then my last thing is I'll just mention it today. We can talk about it more in depth next time because I think we're all ready to go. I know that we have a ordinance that I believe we have an ordinance that does not allow for like farm stands and stuff for people to set up and sell like homemade goods and stuff like that. I would really like to see that change.
we just do like a farmer's market, we talked about that, didn't we?
Yes, it did not happen, but I still think that that our residents should be able to have farm stands at their homes, and we can create guidelines and rules where your customers have to pull into your driveways, so they're not blocking the road or whatever. I just think telling our residents they can't have their own farm stand at their own house is insane. So
Why not just have a farmer's market up here?
that's what you just said. So that's it. Anything else? All right, 8:31 adjourned.